Hi everyone, we're back here at N8.4 lesson 1, and today we're talking about multiplying fractions. We're going to do a little bit of a review on mixed to improper fractions, just so you recall how to do that, because this will come up in the work. So just remember, write the mixed number. So mixed number is the whole number, 2, and then a fraction with it, 2 3/4. Then you multiply the denominator by the whole number and then add the numerator. So follow me here. So if you take the denominator, 4, multiply by 2, you get 8, and then you add the numerator, you get 11. Okay, so 4 times 2 plus 3 is 11. And then you put that number over the original denominator to produce the improper fraction. So you take that 11 that you found and you put it over the original numerator, or denominator, pardon me, and then that gives you your improper fraction. Okay, so 2 3/4 is the same as 11/4, or 11/4. And a review of improper to mixed, the other way around. Okay, improper means the top number, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So in order to make this into a mixed fraction, you want to divide the numerator by the denominator. So you're going to take 8 divided by 5. And then if you just do it like division, 5 into 8 goes 1, and there's 3 left over. So this means that it's 1 whole and a remainder of 3. So you're going to have 1 3/5. This denominator always stays the same as what you started with. Okay, so 5 goes into 8 how many times? Once, and there's 3 left over. So it's 1 whole and 3/5. That's your mixed fraction. Okay, quick review there. Now we're going to talk about multiplying whole numbers times a fraction. Okay, this is a little bit small and blurry, which I wasn't supposed to look this way, but let's see if you can follow me here. Okay, you can find the meaning for 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, and that equals 4/5. So repeated addition can be written as multiplication. That's the same as if it wasn't a fraction. Okay, so 1/5 4 times is the same as 4 times 1/5. Okay, and your answer, if you were to multiply all those, is 4/5. Right? Because 1/5 plus 1/5 4 times is 4/5. Again, I apologize that this is so small. These are in your visual notes. If you prefer to print them off first and follow along so you can see these better, go for that too. Okay, so the next part is, this is how you can show it as a picture. They'll ask you to do some of that in your assignment coming up. Okay, so it's showing the 1/5 4 times, and if you multiply it, you see the 4/5. Okay, so let's say we take 3/4 and we multiply it 7 times. So we add it to itself 7 times. So that's the same as saying 7 times 3/4. And if you were to add all those together, because they're a common denominator there, you're going to get 21/4. Okay, and then you can show it on a number line if you want, where you hop every 3/4 here and get up to 21/4. You can use a different number line to show it as well, where you're hopping the bigger parts. It's up to you. Just have a look at this. This is just for a visual example. I think you'll be able to see here what's happening. So let's write 7 as a whole number, but as a fraction. And when you're multiplying by that other fraction, really all you're doing is multiplying the numerators and the denominators. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay. So tops by tops, bottoms by bottoms, and that gives you your answer. Okay, next screen, another way of multiplying 7 times 3/4 and showing it is this block right here. So you're going to make 7 across and 4 down. Okay, so you're going by the whole number and the denominator, and then you're coloring in the 3/4 7 times, and that will show you that that is 21/4. Okay, just another visual. Again, these are in your visual notes because this is turned out a little bit smaller than I liked. So feel free to go have a look at that example there if this isn't showing up well for you. And here we actually have a question. So new flooring has been installed in 2/3 of the classrooms in the school. There's 21 classrooms in the school, so how many have new flooring? So basically you're taking 21, the whole number. We can put it over 1 just to remind you. And you're multiplying it by 2/3 because of means multiply, remember? So it's saying 2/3 of the 21 classrooms have new flooring. All right, that's what makes it a multiplication question. So here's a crazy number line way of showing it. That works. And basically what they ended up with was 42/3. And then they changed that to a whole number. So basically 42 divided by 3, which is 14. So it tells you that 14 classrooms. All right, next slide. Another way of showing this is with counters. So you model with 21 counters and find thirds by dividing the counters into 3 equal groups, which they did. And then it shows you that 1/3 of 21 is 7. Gives you the same answer there. So then 2/3 of 21 equals 14, right? Because 1/3 was 7, 2/3 is 14. Okay, let's do multiplying just with regular fractions here. So here's a grid. 1/2 of the grade 8 students tried out for the school's lacrosse team. 3/4 of, multiply, these students were successful. So what fraction of the grade 8 students are on the team? So you can draw a rectangle here and show half of the rectangle. So that's the students who tried out. And divide half of the rectangle into quarters, like they did here. And that's the students who were successful. And then the broken line, use broken lines to divide the whole rectangle into equal parts. Okay, so we're going to continue those lines on there. And then that shows you that 3/8 of the grade 8 students are on the team. Okay, so this is a nice visual, works well. So another way that you could do this is taking 3/4 times 1/2. That's this right here. I'm just making it a little bigger. Top by top is 3. Bottom by bottom, 4 times 2 is 8. And that shows you 3/8 of the grade 8 students are on the team. Okay? Just make sure you're multiplying, not adding. So let's do another one here. So 5/7 times 1/4. 5 times 1 is 5. 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, I'm just picking some random questions here. And it's going to ask you to have your fraction in lowest terms. It might ask you to switch it to an improper if you can, or mixed, but it should always be reduced. And sometimes that was the hardest thing when you're doing adding and subtracting. So here's a little hint I want to give you here. We've got 2 really big numbers to multiply by each other. So you're better off to reduce before you multiply. So if you look on the diagonal here, there's a number that goes into both of these, and it's 11. So 11 goes into 33 3 times. 11 goes into 55 5 times, so you can reduce those. And then you can look on the diagonal again here. 15 and 40 have both 5. That would reduce, so you can put 8 here and 3 here, so you're dividing by 5. So now we've got a nice small amounts here, and we can go 3 times 3 is 9, 8 times 5 is 40, and then that gives us our reduced amount. Okay, as opposed to, what would this be, 495 times, or sorry, over 2200. And oh my goodness, what a nightmare to have to reduce that. So do it first. Look at that diagonal to see if there's a number that goes into both. Okay, and then do the reductions beforehand. All right, multiplying mixed fraction. Okay, we can do this in 2 ways. Let's go with changing to an improper fraction first. Okay, so 8 times 3 is 24 plus 3 is 27 over 8 times 3 times 4 is 12 plus 2 is 14 over 3. Going to look on that diagonal to see if I can reduce. I can. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Here we can use 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And now we can just multiply. 9 times 7 is 63 over 4. Okay, and then we can switch it back into a mixed fraction if they ask us. So you take 63 and you divide that by 4. And you get 15 15 times 4 is 60. There's 3 left over, so this is 15 3/4. Okay, or actually, let's leave it at that. That's the way we're going to do these. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. So switch to improper. Make sure you're crossing out the diagonals, reducing first, and then you'll get your answer. If you started with an improper fraction, you probably should have your answer. Or sorry, if you started with a mixed fraction, pardon me, and it ends up improper, you should put your answer back to a mixed fraction. Okay, your assignment is kind of in 4 parts, but I basically covered it all in this one video. If you have any problems, for sure go back to these notes. They give you some really good visuals because you are going to have to draw some to show your work. There's the number line, there's the different ways of drawing that we did here. Okay, that way, and also the counters. You can do any which way you want. There's also going to be some squares to color in, and you'll follow along as you go through the assignment. If you have any troubles, I'm not far away. And good luck with the assignment, and I will see you soon.